to the Maple Trotters Hall of Fame, the final episode to this series. And as you can see on the screen, it is the Hall of Fame honours from the 2020 season to 2028. An award granted for excellence in achievements throughout his career mode save. The RTG rule to this Hall of Fame is that only players below the starting overall are 75 are eligible. Obviously that eliminates people like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David, simply because I don't think it's fair otherwise. They're coming in as big hitters. So this is going to be my last proper daily upload, but I'll get to that maybe at the end of the video, or I'll probably edit another video after this, make a quick video to describe what's going on. But we'll get straight into the honours, because I know you love the Hall of Fame as much as I do. So I've got a couple of honourable mentions for you, and let's get into them right away. Oh, if you're wondering where my hat is, I don't know. That's what I'm wearing, this one. I don't know where the red one is, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into the honourable mentions. Honourable mentions are Brendan Lee, played at right wing, and Christopher Johnson, playing at striker. Obviously both of these were youth academy graduates. I think both of them came in season 4. I scouted them in season 4 if I'm not right, or one of them definitely did. Obviously Brendan Lee, speed dribbler, great finisher as well, cutting on that right hand side, getting to the centre, could finish. Christopher Johnson, he was like a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Mark II. I think I named one of the episodes that, because he knew how to score off the bench a lot. So his style of play, it was positioning and a finisher. The reason for them not making the final cut is simply because they didn't get enough game time to prove the consistency over the save. If they did, maybe they would have made the cut, because I think Brendan Lee would have been better than one or two people on this list if he showed that consistency over seasons, but he didn't get the chance to. So those are the honourable mentions out the way. We will get into our first Hall of Famer now. So our first Hall of Famer is Daniel Perry, our captain for the past 2 or 3 seasons, I cannot remember. He obviously joined us in season 1 as a youth player. He was 23 at the end of the career mode, so he still had a bit to grow. Right winger, that was his natural position. Did I say right? He was a left winger? What would the Hall of Fame be without me messing up on the slides? I'm pretty sure he was a left winger, and I'm pretty sure you just saw that fall down. Yes, he was a left winger. He's quite short, 5'7". Initial value 1.4 million. Prime value nearly 80 million. That's obviously a 78 million increase over the career mode. Preferred foot, left foot. Initial overall was 64 overall, and he rose to an 86 prime overall. That was great. His characteristics are on the right hand side as usual. His strengths were his crossing. Boy, he could put them in the box, man. Honestly, when you see his highlight reel in a minute, you'll see how much assists he had from crosses alone. Skill moves were great as well. I rarely use them, but they were great. And his passing was great as well. Weaknesses were his strength, his composure, definitely his composure. When he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he just messed up all the time. And oddly enough, his speed. I think he was about 90 sprint speed at the end of the career mode, but he never actually felt like it. His style of play is on the right as well. He likes getting behind the defender. Obviously, he's an early crosser, and he likes to play a 1-2 with either the striker or sometimes Alphonso Davies at left back as well. I noticed that a lot. The keys at the bottom for axis for appearances, the GCM is goal contributions per match, and PRC is personal rating of the competition. So if we look in the middle here, we have got his statistics for each individual competition he placed in. So he had 33 goals and 31 assists in the Premier League of 107 appearances. That's a goal contribution just over about 110 minutes, each 110 minutes. And that is pretty good if you ask me for a winger, you know what I mean? Just under the space of 100, it's about 170, 160 minutes. So nearly every second game he was getting a goal contribution, and that's why I gave him an 8.25 personal rating from me. He had 5 goal contributions in 12 appearances in the EFL Cup. I thought that was pretty standard, so he gets a good 7 from me. And he has 9 goal contributions in 20 appearances in the FA Cup. That was one of his best competitions. I did notice that he was, he was showing up. He liked the FA Cup, so it's 7.25 from me. Now the EFL playoffs, I don't think a lot of people on this list performed well in the EFL playoffs, so you'll probably see the lowest rating on that specific competition for a lot of the players. He had no goals and no contributions, hence the 5.5 rating. Champions League was a decent competition for him. He had 8 assists in 21 appearances, so I gave him a 6.75 for that. But the World Cup was actually his best competition. He showed up at the biggest stage with 2 goals and 1 assist in 4 appearances. That's a goal contribution every 0.75 matches. I gave him a 9 out of 10 for that. But yeah, he was a great captain for us. He lifted a lot of trophies in the final season, of course. Unfortunately, he couldn't lift the Champions League. But I've got nothing else to say, but here is his highlight reel.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
World Cup goal, Daniel Perry gets it.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
And Jonathan David yet again. What a cross from Daniel Perry though.
You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Hat-trick time, leave it on your left foot. There we go, Daniel Perry gets a hat-trick. Can't believe it. I think that's his first ever hat-trick. there we go. I hope you enjoyed that highlight reel. There was a couple of bangers in there, you know. He had poor composure, but there was still a couple of bangers in there, and the crosses. Oh, he did know what he was doing sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So let's get into our next Hall of Famer, and he was one of my favourite players to play with. Our next Hall of Famer is Larry Beliska. I always thought that name didn't actually suit him. Larry Beliska. But again, another person who joined us in season 1 as a youth player. He was 23 when the career mode ended. He could play as a winger and as attacking midfielder. I did play him as attacking midfielder during the first half of the career mode, and he just phased into a standard winger into the later half. He was only 1 inch taller than Daniel Perry at 5'8". Initial value of 1.7 million, prime value 93 million. That he rose over 90 million over the course of the career mode. Preferred foot was left. Initial overall was 63, prime overall was 87. Obviously being 23, he still had time to grow if this career mode went on. His strengths were speed, agility, great agility. Honestly, he just could move on a dime. Skill moves, great skill moves. I used them more with him than I used them with Daniel Perry. And he was also a set piece specialist. I actually scored my first goal of FIFA, my first free kick goal of FIFA 21 with Larry Beliska. His weaknesses were pretty much the same as Daniel Perry, so we've got strength, height, and a new one that I've never put on a Hall of Fame before. He was a big game bottle job. Whenever there was a big game happening, he used to bottle chances, and I wouldn't say... I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not bothering to put that back up. But not necessarily finals is in big games, but I'd say like games against Man City or Liverpool where we really needed the 3 points to push on in the league, and he had a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper, he would always scuff it and stuff like that. So that kind of plays into his composure as well. So that's the reason why I've put that in his weakness. His style of play was exactly the same as Daniel Perry's, more or less. The only thing he didn't have, which Perry had, was the early crosser. Now, his statistics were a little bit worse than Perry's. I did notice he went missing a lot, hence the big game bottle job up there. He had 27 goals and 17 appearances in 106 Premier League matches. That's a goal contribution every 0.4 games. 7.5 rating. It's okay, you know what I mean? It's okay. It's probably, that personal rating probably should be a bit lower thinking about it. The EFL Cup was one of his worst competitions, to be honest. 4 goal contributions and 13 appearances. That's 6.5 personal rating from me. FA Cup, it was okay. 6 goal contributions in 14 appearances. EFL Cup, he actually had one of the best EFL Cups of everybody on this list. He actually had 3 goal contributions in 5 appearances. So I gave him his highest rating on the list of 8.5 there. And 20 appearances in the Champions League, 5 goal contributions. And he only scored 1 goal in the World Cup, but it was a screamer. That will be on his highlight reel. It was an absolute screamer. I remember it. And so he only scored 1 goal and had no assists in 4 games of the World Cup. But yo, remember that screamer. So Larry Beliska, as I just said, he was one of my favourite players to play with. He just nippy, could get in behind, and he had more speed than Daniel Perry, so he could get away a lot better. But there's nothing less to say, but here is his highlight reel.
Close till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
amok against City though, man. Absolutely running amok.
Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls.
That was a pass. That was a pass from Beliska. He's running amok.
I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go.
A World Cup screamer from Beliska.
Raise and on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
I hope you enjoyed that highlight reel. I had to put the free kick in there as well, you know what I mean? Because damn, that was a badass free kick, man. I thought it was off target when I first took it. He caught me by surprise, you know what I'm saying? But that is our second Hall of Famer. Let's see our third is. Our third is probably, I feel like I say this every Hall of Fame that I do, but he's probably our most bona fide Hall of Famer there has ever been. It can only be one man that you know of. Simon Cullen. Simon Cullen. Joined us in season 1, of course. 25 at the end of the career mode. Attacking midfielder, 5'9". Initial value, 190k. Not even in the millions, not even close to a million. Prime value, 159 million. Preferred foot, right foot. Initial overall, 51 overall. Prime overall, 92. That's a 41 growth. I don't think there'll ever be anybody in another Hall of Fame that has such a big growth from the start to the end of the career mode. Strengths with his sprint speed. He started off quite a slow player, but he went to about 98, sprint speed 97, I think it was. A clinical finisher. Absolute clinical finisher. He could just bang them. Agility, could turn on a dime, and big game player. Now I should explain the big game player, because if you remember in season 6 he missed a chance to win us the title with his one-on-one shot against the goalkeeper, and then ever since was that season 5 or season 6? No, that was season 5, right? And then in season 6 he had the same chance and he scored it, and he did so in other competitions. He says, I made one mistake and I'm not making it again, because my name is Simon Cullen and I improve. You know what I'm saying? That's what Simon Cullen was like. Weaknesses was his strength and his aerial ability, but luckily for him, those never really came into play. He could just play around them. The style of play likes to get in behind 1-2 players well with his strike partner, with his striker up top, or with his wingers either side of him. Now look at these statistics. These statistics are some of the best that's ever been in the Hall of Fame. In 111 appearances in the Premier League, he scored 59 goals, which is great for attacking midfielder, of course, and 91 assists. Now that's ridiculous. That's a goal contribution every 1.35 games. That's probably a goal contribution every 70 minutes, 68 minutes, something ridiculous like that. Personal rating of 10. I can't give him a personal rating of any less. And then if in the EFL Cup, he had 7 contributions in 11 appearances. That's a personal rating of 9 from me. FA Cup was one of his favourite competitions. He had 20 goal contributions in 17 appearances. Another personal rating of 10 from me. The EFL Cup was his weakest competition, but he still had 3 goal contributions in 5 appearances. You know, that's something else. So 8.75 from me. And then Champions League, 14 goals, 12 assists in 21 appearances, 10 personal rating. And then in the World Cup on the biggest stage, he showed that he's still the man. 3 goals and 3 assists in 4 appearances. Personal rating from 10 from me. A goal contribution 1.5. It's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Honestly, that is just ridiculous. He is such a special player. And he is the reason why I love career mode so much. You just get an unknown random player from anywhere, right? And you just put him in there and he just does wonders for you. I remember that it was the first episode, wasn't it? The first episode of this series. I played 1 game and we started him, let's see how he is. And this guy, he was running 51 rated and I saw he was a star from then. And I said he was going to be a Hall of Famer, and bro, is he a bona fide Hall of Famer? And the only way I can end his slide is by saying here is his highlight reel, and I think it is the longest highlight reel of anybody in the Hall of Fame this career mode. So I hope you enjoy. Oh, that was a rifle. That was an absolute rifle. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 1-1. Colin missed the last chance last season to win us the title, but it looks like he scored it this season. we go. It's the best player in the world. The agility, the skill, the finesse. You enjoyed that. There was a lot of bangers, a lot of assists, there was a lot of stuff, and what a great player that I'm going to miss come the end of this save, that I'm going to miss. But that is our third Hall of Famer, I think, if I can count. Let's get into our number 4, who is a striker. Number 4 is Jordan Hamilton. Joined in season 1, he was 31 years old at the end of this career mode. Position was a striker, height was 6 foot, one of our tallest players in the squad. Initial value 720k, prime value 32 million. Preferred foot was his left foot, which I always seem to forget for some reason. And then 64 was his initial overall, and 84 was his prime overall. 20 growth, of course. Strengths were his clinical finisher. Honestly, he could bang them, absolutely bang them. His physical strength was another one of his strengths, and his penalties, great penalties as well. He had a couple of weaknesses with his weak foot, his skill moves, and obviously those were upgraded from, you know, the start to the end, but I never really used them. Well, his weak foot I really used, but he always used to keep it on his left and so banged with that. And his attacking position, sometimes his attacking position was really weird, man. It was just like he sort of clear run, and he just refused to take it for whatever reason. I don't know. Style of play, 1-2 player, loves to get in behind and shoots from far. He could shoot them from outside the box and at least trouble the goalkeeper if he didn't get him in. But another, you know, crazy table down here for the striker. 82 appearances in the Premier League. Now you notice that he only played so little appearances in the Premier League because obviously Jonathan David came in at season 7 and he took over the starting spot from him. But even in season 7 he had good turnaround stats. You've probably seen at the end of the season where I'll show you the list of just being a super sub. So in 92 appearances he had 67 goals, 42 assists, and I gave him a personal rating of 10 because that is just perfect. In the EFL Cup, he had 8 goal contributions in 7 appearances, personal rating of 10. In the FA Cup, 21 goal contributions in 17 appearances, personal rating of 10. 3 10s in a row, that is ridiculous. And then I just dropped it off a little because he had 4 goal contributions in 5 appearances in the EFL playoffs, 9.5. And then in the Champions League, 7 goals, 5 assists in 15 appearances, personal rating of 9. And in the World Cup, 5 goal contributions in 2 games, personal rating of 10. That is probably the highest personal rating I've ever given somebody across the board in the Hall of Fame. I don't think I've given anybody better than that. Maybe Hakeem Rose, I don't know, back in the Reggae Boys. But, you know, his total there, 94 goals in 128 appearances and 65 assists. That something special, something absolute special. So I hope you enjoy this Hall of Fame where there is a range of different goals. There's volleys, there's headers, there's long range shots, there's everything involved here. I hope you enjoy.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let them know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I'm moving too far. Get to glance. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me.
Hamilton, for his hat-trick. First start and first hat-trick of the World Cup.
Shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that Hall of Fame. He bangs them. He knows how to bang them, man. But that is it for our number 4 Hall of Famer. Our number 5 Hall of Famer, we're moving from the front to the back now. We're going to be focusing on defenders for the second half of the Hall of Fame. So the number 5 Hall of Famer is Jose Johnson. Joined us in season 1. Now, if you've noticed, that means all of our first 3 season 1 youth players are actually in the Hall of Fame. That is great. Larry Belisca, Daniel Perry and Jose Johnson. He was only 22 when this career mode ended. He still had buckets of potential left. Could play at centre back and left back. I never actually played him with left back simply because we always had good left backs around him. 6'2", initial value is 900k. That is quite big for a youth player. I remember I got him when he was 15, and then prime value 54 million. Preferred foot was left footed. Initial overall was 60. And his prime overall was 85. His strengths were a lot of strengths. His height, his aerial presence, even though he wasn't just tall, he could dominate in the air. His tackling was great and his speed was great. Honestly, he could have. I wish the development plan was a bit more smarter, and he could have made him, because I would have molded him into a centre mid. I think he would have been a great centre mid because he had great all-round stats, really. Weaknesses were none. It just didn't have a weakness for a centre-back. I stand by that. Style of play, likes to lunge in, uses strength well to dominate in the air, and uses strength well, dominates in the air in crossing scenarios, and great positioning. You just Swiss Army knife. So if you don't know what the keys are when it comes to defenders, if this is your first time Hall of Fame, I'll get you through it now. Obviously, APS still means appearances, PRC still means personal rating of the competition, and DCM means defensive contribution per match. So what that is your interceptions and your clearances combined, and then take that away from your appearances to see what your average of defensive contributions were per match. And I always say that obviously you can't count interceptions and clearances when it comes to sim games because you don't know. You don't know who's making interceptions unless you watch the interactive sim, and you don't watch that. And then you always round it up because obviously if you sim a game, then it's possible, so you round it up basically. So you'll never see any weird figures, or you shouldn't do unless I've made a mistake in your DCEM. So in the Premier League, in 106 appearances, I wouldn't focus on the clean sheets column so much because I'm going to blame the goalkeeper for the clean sheets. I think we would have had a lot more clean sheets if it wasn't for our bad goalkeepers over these career modes. So he had 42 clean sheets and 106 appearances in the Prem, 85 interceptions and 11 clearances. That's a goal contribution every 0.9 games. That is great. That is really great, honestly. nearly every game he was there making a crucial interception or clearance out of the box. 9.5 personal rating from me. And he had 8 interceptions in 8 appearances in the EFL Cup, so definitely a goal at this a goal. Definitely a defensive contribution every match. That's 10 from me. 17 defensive contributions in 18 appearances in the FA Cup. 10 out of 10 from me. He's just great, isn't he? 2 in 5 in the EFL Cup. That was probably his weakest competition. And something I had to double check the stats with this Champions League because I couldn't believe it. 23 interceptions, 2 clearances in 21 appearances. He was just balling out then. I think he had actually like 6 or 7 interceptions in one game. He was like, you ain't getting past me. That was 10 out of 10 easily. And he also had a decent World Cup with 2 interceptions and 1 clearance in 4 appearances. Great defender. You know, I probably could have made him a captain, you know what I mean? But Daniel Perry took that over him. But yeah, all I can say is here is his highlight reel. You'll see interceptions, clearances, you'll even see a lot of goals in there. Because obviously from the crosses he was aerial presence and a threat. He just got in the air and hung in there and just headed them in. Always when I needed him to at the start of the season as well. So I hope you enjoyed Jose Johnson's highlight reel.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town.
Oh, nice interception.
Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful interception.
Heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Above the sky, we are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to
Oh God! Oh, what an interception at the last second!
on the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Nice interception there. I hope you enjoyed that because I sure as hell did. That was a great ass highlight reel, man. But that is our 5th Hall of Famer. Let's move on to other defenders, shall we? Derek Cornelius, our season 4 centre back. He was 29 when we ended his career mode. 6'2", same height as Jose Johnson. Initial value was 2.9 million, prime value 23 million. Preferred foot was also left-footed. Initial overall was 72, prime overall was 81. His strengths were his raw strength, positioning and tackling. All he just were in his arsenal. He collected those so well, and he did a great job. Weaknesses were his aerial ability. He never really hung in the air, he never really got stuff out, so I'm going to leave that as a weakness. Style of play, uses strength well, and calculates his interceptions well as well. So in the Premier League, he also had great statistics. 43 clean sheets and 108 appearances, 81 interceptions and 14 clearances. DCM of 0.9 games. I think that's the same as Jose Johnson, isn't it? A 9.5 personal rating from me. 6 defensive contributions in 7 appearances of the EFL Cup, so I gave him the same personal rating. 11 defensive contributions in 11 FA Cup games, that's a 10 out of 10 from me. And did I say the EFL Cup games, the FA Cup games? The EFL playoffs were his worst competition. He didn't do anything. Didn't have one interception or clearance in 3 appearances, so he has a 6 from me. Because it wasn't a lot of appearances, so can't really judge him too harshly off it. He didn't have a single clearance in the World Cup or the Champions League, but he had 12 interceptions in the Champions League, so I gave him a 7. And he had 1 interception in 4 appearances in the World Cup. That's probably our worst World Cup performance, so I gave him a 5 for that. He partnered really, really well with Jose Johnson. That had a link there. I mean, usually I have like one shorter defender, one shorter centre back, and one taller, but both of them were the same size. And Jose Johnson was naturally better in the air, and probably he was better on ground, so they complemented each other well. And let's just watch his highlight reel and see all the great interceptions and clearances that he made. I think he was another defender that made a good 5-6 interceptions in one game. I hope you enjoy.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through?
Cornelius has been world class this game, absolutely world class.
In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 for you.
Oh, great interception there. Quickly proved to be a very vital one. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that highlight reel, because I sure as hell did. So let's get into our last Hall of Famer. Can you work out who it is yet? It is another defender, because you know full well that it's not a goalkeeper. A goalkeeper in this Hall of Fame, you must be mad. Zachary Goddard. Great defender. Season 4, he joined us with Derek Cornelius, of course. He was 28 by the end of his career mode. Position was a right back, could also play right wing back, but I changed him into right back when he joined us. 5'7", quite short. Initial value just under 4 million. Prime value just under 40 million. Preferred foot was right foot. Initial overall was 73. Prime overall was 84. His strengths, boy, he had a lot of strengths. Positioning, it was always great there, standing at the back ready to intercept and collect from the opposition, which comes into his second strength of tackling. Sprint speed, if he was having a breakaway, you could trust him to get up there and pass to Beliska, who was always on his right side as well. Crossing, even though he could overlap Beliska and putting across, that cross was going to be good enough to reach the striker in Hamilton or Jonathan David. And strength, he could easily knock people off the ball, and he, he's short but stocky. That was great with him. So his weaknesses were his aerial ability and his skill moves. Both of those I didn't really need as a right back, so it was easily to overcome that. Style of play, uses his strength well, calculates interceptions, and an early crosser. So if you look at his if you look at his defensive contributions per match, these were quite low. Probably the lowest there's ever been for a Hall of Famer, really. Gets into this because you know how some people say stats aren't everything. He gets into this based off how he felt in game, more or less. So let's not focus too much on the stats, but I'll read them out anyway. 35 interceptions and 5 clearances in 109 Premier League games. 8 personal rating from me. I know the DCM's quite low compared to my centre backs, but as it says, it's the way he felt in game. You could always trust him. And obviously my centre backs made that much interceptions and clearances. He didn't have to. So that's the reason why that number is so low. Interceptions of 2 in 6 appearances in the EFL Cup, 7 from me. 6 interceptions in 11 appearances in the FA Cup, 8.5. The EFL Cup, again, just like his the guy who came in at the same time, Cornelius, was not his best competition, didn't have any interceptions or clearances, so I gave him a 5. The Champions League had 7 interceptions, 1 clearance in 21 appearances. I gave him an 8 out of 10 for that. And the World Cup, he had a very good World Cup. I remember seeing him in the World Cup and I thought, yo, he is playing at his skin. 3 interceptions, 4 appearances, 9 personal rating from me. But all there is left to say now is, here is his highlight reel. I hope you enjoy. You're going to see him dominating some of these challenges and stuff, man.
Pull my heart out of my chest, train my mind so I forget. Sink your teeth into my bones, dig me out, then fill the hole. Tear me apart and watch it burn. Tear me apart and watch it burn. All that's left is a window to my soul. Come and get it.
it, centre back position, and did the job. Oh, what a right back he is, man. What a tackle from the right back. What a tackle. Come and get it. So I hope you enjoyed this highlight reel, and I hope you enjoyed this part of the Hall of Fame. Obviously, those of you that aren't new to the Hall of Fame understand that this is only half of it. We're going to get into the second part now. The second part, the Maple Trotters award ceremonies. Obviously, this is where we have our specialised 3 awards. Sometimes it's 4, depending on what the save is, but this year it's going to be 3. I did think about making a youth player save, but because a youth player award, but because all 3 season 1 youth players were in the Hall of Fame, I thought it would be a bit redundant making an award for them, so they'll just be the normal 3. So let's get into the first award, which, as you know, if you've seen it before, is Grandma Saturday Super Award, the most consistent player throughout this whole save. So number 3 goes to Steven Eustachio. Great player. Controlled that midfield so well. Was great at passing, was great at interceptions, was even great at scoring sometimes. He was a Swiss Army knife, but he only gets 3rd place because at 2nd is Jonathan David. Jonathan David, what the hell? his head must be in my, his name must be in my head for joke. Jordan Hamilton, should I say. He's probably getting offended. Look at his face. Look at his face. You mix me up with the other striker you replaced me with. But yes, from season 1 to season 7, yes, I replaced him in season 7, but he still performed off the bench. He was a great striker. And he scored, he even had a ton of assists for a striker as well, but he was only beat by one person, and it's obvious who that one person is. Simon Collin. What a great player. You saw his statistics in the Hall of Fame. Not to be scoffed at, of course. He could assist, he could score. He was the true Swiss Army knife. I don't think we would have won many competitions if it wasn't for Simon Collin. And his prize for winning this is the stand arrow from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from part 4, I want to say. One of my favourite parts of that series. If you haven't watched JoJo's, go watch JoJo. You know what they say about JoJo's fans, they always tell you to watch JoJo's. So that is that for the Grandma Saturday Super Award. Now, for the next award is the Fried Dumpling Special Award, my favourite player. At number 3, it's very rare that I put a defender in my favourite player, but Jose Johnson does actually make the cut. As I said before in his Hall of Fame, he could do everything. And I wish I could have moulded him into a centre mid, but it would have taken way too long. So he's at number 3 for doing everything. At number 2, now I'm going to get this one right, Jonathan David. So Jonathan David came in at season 7 and tore the league up. Broke the competition record in the Premier League for most goals in a single season. I think it was 33 before he broke that, and he got 37, I think it was. And he could assist as well. And you know, I started with him in the World Cup, and I wasn't impressed, but I thought, let me give it a chance and buy him anyway. I got a surplus amount of money, I got 100 million, so I brought him anyway, and I don't regret it one bit. I was thinking, damn, I wish I could have brought him earlier, but I never had the money earlier. Jonathan David takes the silver platter at number 2. You can already guess who my favourite player is, can't you? I always find it very unfair if the favourite player and the most consistent player is the same player. But in this case, I can't kid myself. Simon Collin takes it for my favourite player again. His agility, his sprint speed, everything I just loved about him. His shortness, his height as well, so he could nip around people, the low centre of gravity. From the very first episode, as I said before, I knew he was going to be a star, and he did not disappoint. So his prize for this competition is the 5-leaf clover from Black Clover. There's a devil inside there. Right, so for our most prestigious award, you know what our most prestigious award is? The Bunny and Cheese Award, the best partnership of the series. Obviously, this can go for anybody across the field. So let's get into our third place. Stephen A. Eustachio and Liam Fraser complemented each other very, very well. I remember for the early seasons of this career mode, I was trying to find different midfielders that had nationality that I could get to complement each other. And in season 5, it was our first season in the Premier League, I brought Stephen, and I never looked back since. Great player. As I said before, he could do a lot of things. And then Liam Fraser, you know what I mean, he started quite low and he wasn't the fastest, and he never was the fastest even at the end of the career mode. But again, he could do a lot of things. So complemented each other very, very well. That's why they're third place on this list. Jose Johnson and Derek Cornelius take second place. As I said in both of their Hall of Fame snippets, both of those could do well. Jose Johnson was better in the air, so if there was a cross coming in, he could defend that. Derek Cornelius, I think, was a little better on the field, so if there was a through ball coming through, he defended that. They did well, and I think I'm grateful that both of them didn't really get injured, because I feel like if one of them got injured, you would have felt the difference, regardless how good the other one was. But for our first place, this was hard. This was actually very hard, because I wanted to put it as somebody else, but I couldn't. Our first place award goes to Simon Collin and Jordan Hamilton. Now, I was thinking about making this Simon Collin and Jonathan David, but that was one season. One amazing, great season, but still one season. So I thought I'll just leave it and make it these two. For 6 seasons straight, or maybe even the 7th season when he was used as a super sub, these two had the best connection going. Like bun and cheese, pun intended. So I've given them the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan as rewards. They are the next inheritance of that from Attack on Titan, of course. But these two were just... There were games. Obviously, I do the individual highlight reels for the Hall of Fame, and I do a joint highlight reel for first place, yeah. And you'll see in a minute that there's games where I've scored 5 goals, and both of them have, and only 2 of them have scored these goals. You know what I'm saying? Only these 2 on the team. They're passing to each other, assisting each other, and all of this, and they are just great. Absolutely great. I just can't thank them enough for this, and I can't say anything else, but here is their highlight reel, their joint highlight reel. I hope you enjoyed. Collin into Hamilton, but bro, that combination just works so well. It's bun and cheese, bro. first ever Champions League goal goes to Simon Collin. Colin, there we go. See, Hamilton and Colin linking up again. How could I leave him after the first 2 games, man? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Oh, what a ball from Colin, and bang! Colin and Hamilton of old, that was. So, I hope you enjoyed that highlight reel because I sure as hell did, man. Oh my gosh, these two were great. So it's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride, and this is going to be the last proper daily upload. I think I'm going to release one tomorrow where I'm going to discuss what's going on with the channel, what's not, and all that stuff. And that's it. But I can only say thank you for everybody that's watched this series. Don't care if you watch 1 episode, don't care. Well, if you watch 10, then I thank you a bit more, but you know what I'm saying? If you watch 1, then I love you all. And tomorrow's going to be quite hard for me because I'm going to have to describe what's going on with the channel and stuff. I probably won't go into too much detail, but I wanted to give you a bit of the lowdown. So, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed this version of the Hall of Fame. And I'll see you soon, I suppose. Till next time.